Okay, so now we know at least the bare minimum of a function. So we know a little bit of how to use it, but we have more. First, we're going to talk about arguments, and you're going to hear this word a lot, argument. So arguments are data or values you can pass into a function so the function can do something with this data. Let's see just a practical example. We're going to use the same example that before. I have a function, and this function is going to be login, and we want to send a message to the user whenever they log in. I'm going to say alert, and then just welcome back, and then just plus. And what I want to say, instead of just welcome back and nothing else, I want to output the username of the person that it's logging in. So I'm going to say username. Okay, simple as that. And if I just run the function, see what happens. Just roll the function, and we get uncocked reference username. It's not defined. And of course, this is because we are saying to JavaScript to output this variable, the variable username, but of course the variable doesn't exist. We don't have a username. So there's a way with arguments to pass the username. So what I'm going to do, whenever I call this function, I trigger this login. Inside here, I can pass arguments. I'm going to pass a string, okay, just a value, and it's going to say Mr. Wolf, whatever. So when I go right here, it's going to calling the function, and it's going to say, okay, log in, just execute whatever you have inside, and here's the first argument. Now inside here, inside the function, we need to declare the function the argument we are passing. Since there's one argument, just the username, I'm going to say username. Okay, and when we trigger this function, it's going to grab this argument we are passing right here, and it's going to use it inside here. Let me reload the page. And okay, and we get welcome back, Mr. Wolf. Now the arguments, you can call them whatever you want. You can call X, you can call Y, beta, alpha, whatever you want. If I put right here robot or whatever, and I just put robot right here, reload the page, we get the same result. We are still getting the alert. All right, so you can call them whenever you want. Now, whenever you call variables, it's always good to put a name, something that actually makes sense. We are passing the username, so yeah, you should be using username. And this is because maybe in the future, a different developer might be debugging your code, and if you put just variables that makes no sense, it's going to be really confusing for the other developer to fix something or to do something on your code. So okay, so now we need to know at least how to pass an argument. Now the arguments are passed in order, so you can have as many arguments as you wish. So let me just delete this. And I'm going to say I'm going to write a function, and the function, the name is going to be arguments. This is the name of my function. And I'm going to pass an argument. It's going to be argument 1, and then I'm going to pass a second argument. It's going to be argument 2. All right? And what I want to do, I want to console log both values, both arguments. I'm going to say console.log and argument number, and then just dot, maybe a space, and then plus, and I'm going to put the value, whatever value I have on argument 1. All right, just call. I'm going to copy all of this, paste it at the bottom, and say argument 2. So whenever I call this function, is going to run the console logs whatever value I'm passing. Okay, argument 1 or argument 2. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to call this function, and the first argument is going to be the argument number 1. I'm going to say 1, of course. And if it's an argument number 2, I'm just going to pass 2 as values. All right, so if I reload the page, we get argument number 1 and argument number 2. So this makes sense. This is going to be 1, this is going to be 2, and it's just outputting whatever we have inside this argument. Now look what happens if I just first put the number 2 and then the number 1. It's going to just change the order. Argument number 1, now it's going to be 2, and argument number 1 is going to be 2. I'm sorry, 1 is going to be 2 and 2 is going to be 1. And this is because the arguments are passed in order. If the first one right here it's 2, the first argument inside the function must be the first one I'm passing right here. It doesn't matter if you forget to pass something. Maybe you want for this 1 to be the argument 2, and that's not going to happen. It's going to take the first argument for the first argument. All right, so you need to always remember something like this. If you want to, for example, you don't have a value for the second argument, what you can do is just put a comma and do something like this, such as like an empty string, or you can say null or false or whatever. All right, just let me reload the page and we get false. All right, so you need to always know that the arguments are in order. That it's very important. Okay, so let's go to the next lecture.